Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning is on the big screen this weekend, and Tom Cruise surely has elevated this property to new heights with each and every outing. What once was a TV show back in the day has truly become one of the more consistent action franchises that would be kind of impossible to rank. So be gentle in the comments section, because I think everybody has an opinion on which films are the best in the franchise, and I will surely do my best to be up to the test to rank the franchise from worst to best. This is my mission if I so choose to accept it, and I will. But before I do so, make sure you guys are leaving your rankings of the franchise in the comments section. Let's have a lively conversation down there. And you guys love movie reviews and talking about all things movies and ranking franchises, of course, think about jumping on a like, share, and subscribe here on the channel. My name is Adam, and let's kick off this ranking with our number 8 pick. And kicking off my list here at number 8, I will be taking the easy out here and saying Mission Impossible 2, directed by John Woo. A film that easily had a lot of potential because of who was directing the movie. This film completely feels disconnected and different from what came before and after this entry. And this movie has just about everything you necessarily didn't think you needed in a Mission Impossible movie. An IMF team that we've never seen again other than Luther, aka Ving Rhames. We went full slow-mo action opera with everything, including John Woo's signature doves, wild motorcycle stunts, a knife in the eyeball, which is probably one of the crazier stunts that this movie does do. And of course, what this also needed was a love triangle with Thaddeus Newton and Douglas Scott, aka our villain of the film. I know we'll be doing a deep dive, so I don't want to share all my thoughts right now, but this one is kind of the least likely to move up on my list. Number 7 on my list, and it's going to be kind of tough to say this, Mission Impossible: Final Reckoning, I do have at number 7 here. A movie that feels a little overlong, a little light on action. The action we did get is pretty spectacular. Seeing Tom Cruise dangle off a plane, that is a pretty intense and exhilarating sequence. And there's an underwater sequence as well that really kind of put my gut in a knot. I also feel kind of like the writing is not nearly as sharp as the previous installments. It seems like a lot of government officials kind of just bantering back and forth, and we don't get a ton of action. We don't get a lot of quips between the characters that we are so accustomed to as well. They're there, but not as frequently done. Again, it just kind of feels overly long. Some really awesome set pieces. I just don't feel like it's spaced out as much. And maybe this is just nitpicking because the films above it are just some of my favorites and some really amazing action set pieces throughout the runtime. Final Reckoning is probably one I do really want to watch because I liked Dead Reckoning. We'll find out where that falls a little bit later. But Final Reckoning, still a really solid entry in the franchise. I think Christopher McQuarrie's direction is really solid. It just wasn't exactly what I was expecting this final entry, aka air quotes, Final Reckoning, to be. Number 6 on my list might surprise you. I have Mission Impossible: Rogue Nation. This is the 5th film in the franchise, and while it's still an overly exciting, entertaining action-adventure movie, it's not one that I really gravitate in the franchise, and it kind of forgets sometimes it exists. I feel like this one and Rogue Nation are very similar films. This is, of course, directed by Christopher McQuarrie, and of course, introducing Rebecca Ferguson's character, Isla Faust here, one of the better companions to Ethan Hunt's team here. I really like her character, and I think that's very awesome part of the film here. And while seeing Tom Cruise hang on the side of a plane and zipping in and out of traffic on a motorcycle, this is really cool stuff that he does, and he does go for it here. I get Rogue Nation and Ghost Protocol story kind of mixed together, so I have Ghost Protocol a little higher because of the overall stunt work in that movie, and I think that one is really pretty iconic a movie here as well. And while Rogue Nation is still a fun, exhilarating film, I do have some nostalgic love for my 5th pick. Number 5 on my list is going to be Mission Impossible. The first film came out in 1996 and it's directed by Brian De Palma. I really enjoyed this espionage thriller with Tom Cruise. I've been seeing this complete IMF team and then slowly getting picked off one by one and figuring out who Max is and who's the mole and all this really cool, iconic stuff. And of course, I play the PlayStation video game, so it ties into my childhood nostalgia for the PlayStation system there too. This is a really fun, nostalgic film, and while it may not be the most action heavy and definitely feels a little different now from where the franchise has taken, it's off to new heights where this probably Brian De Palma never really envisioned probably, but I liked the small espionage thriller here that we got, and I still really enjoy everything that this original film really did do, so it's a really solid piece of work. Number 4 on my list is the film directed by Brad Bird, and that is Ghost Protocol. Again, I really love the stunt work here, and I think what really puts it up at number 4 here is the standout sequences at the Burj Khalifa and also the sandstorm sequence. I think those two are some of the more iconic sequences of Tom Cruise's action journey in the Mission Impossible franchise. Really, this movie also really sets it apart from the previous installments while making this kind of a unique thing, and really starts setting the groundwork of what this Mission Impossible franchise is. A big, bold, action-heavy set-piece story with also really interesting dialogue. Really liked Ghost Protocol. The one thing that it could probably go higher, but I just get Rogue Nation and Ghost Protocol stories kind of intertwined. I have to re-look at a bunch of stuff to remember the stories to kind of put them up any higher. So I think that would kind of take away a little bit. So, really solid entry. I like Ghost Protocol a lot, and some of the best stunt work here. Might be crazy, but number 3 is Mission Impossible 3, directed by J.J. Abrams, and Philip Seymour Hoffman as your villain. You're doing something right. After his big Oscar win for Capote, he shows up here playing a big villain, and Tom Cruise going head-to-head with Philip Seymour Hoffman. I'm all for it. I really enjoy this movie. I think J.J. Abrams really crafted something really cool and exciting, especially coming off what Mission Impossible 2 was and kind of the misfire the franchise was taking. And while Tom Cruise does have some pretty cool co-stars in Maggie Q and Jonathan Rhys-Meyers, really the overshadowing force of this film is Philip Seymour Hoffman here. And of course, seeing Tom Cruise and Philip Seymour Hoffman sharing the screen once again from their late 1999 film Magnolia. It's really awesome to see that, and I feel like this movie has some decent set pieces, not nearly as awesome as the rest of the franchise, but Philip Seymour Hoffman, I can't underestimate this guy's power and his persona, and he's definitely one of our favorite actors on the podcast, so for that alone, that's why this movie is at number 3 for me. And number 2 on my list, I do have Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning. This movie was such a blast, and Christopher McQuarrie really understands this franchise, and he delivers everything I want in an action movie, and Tom Cruise also delivers with amazing stunt work. That motorcycle jumping off the cliff into a parachute, landing on a moving train, amazing stuff. The train falling off the tracks reminding me of Uncharted 2. That's a fantastic sequence, and just the entire pacing of this story was awesome to see. Clem Teef is also kicking ass in this movie. A lot of awesome characters, and really a movie that kind of stands on its own, even though it's setting up a final chapter, an ultimate conclusion there, and final reckoning. But it really gives us just enough that we are left satisfied, but also just wanting a little bit more. And I feel like it does a really great job setting up that final piece, and it just feels so good by itself. And that's why I kind of want to put it number 1, but number 2 is a good spot to be, and I really enjoyed Dead Reckoning quite a bit. Number 1 on my list, I have to go with Mission Impossible Fallout, the one where Henry Cavill pumped his fist quite a bit, and also is going to be remembered for the brutal reshoots for Justice League, but who cares about Justice League? We are talking about Fallout, and this is one of the best action movies probably of a generation. I think this franchise for sure. This film really benefits from increasingly personal plot that Ethan Hunt has to go with, and battling with Henry Cavill's villainous turn here, which is a fascinating character thing. One of the great character turns there. A character that he's coming from Superman to playing this villainous character is a great performance there as well. It's definitely one more dramatic and has really high stakes, and for a 2.5 hour runtime, it just flew by for me. Definitely one of the best 21st century blockbusters that we've had, and it's just a fantastic action movie. Again, this movie is definitely going to be remembered as the Tom Cruise Henry Cavill show, and then battling at the end. I really do enjoy this movie, and setting up kind of what's to come with Dead Reckoning as well. So for me, Mission Impossible Fallout is easily my favorite one, but I could definitely see it sometimes switching Dead Reckoning and Fallout. I love both of those movies a lot, and I feel like those are some of the best that the franchise has to offer. Well, that's my thoughts, takes, and opinions on Mission Impossible and how I rank them. But where do you guys rank them? Let me know in the comments section down below where what I did wrong, what you guys thought about my ranking, and where do you rank them? Let me know down there. Until next time, guys, my name is Adam, and I will see you in the next one.